Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship for 2015 and to StarCraft 2. Once more joined by the most passionate fans in the world here in Katowice as we play out our semi-finals here. Already one done, now another one is coming in just a few minutes' time. But before we get there, let's just recap where we are in the bracket. Of course, 2 days of the round of 16 completed. The quarterfinals completed earlier on today, and we've seen plenty of surprises. In fact, in every round, it's safe to say the new favourite has fallen until we've lost all the favourites, and now I don't know who the favourite is anymore. Good job we have some experts on an analysis desk to find out exactly who the favourites for these games are. But now we're going to introduce you to the next two players. We're down to just 3 in contention for the title, and there's only one thing we do know. The new Intel Extreme Masters World Champion will be a brand new player at the Intel Extreme Masters. They won't have ever won one before. Now, our first player in the semi-final, our second semi-final, is a player who is already ticking this tournament off as his best ever result in his entire career. That's right, a semi-final at the Intel Extreme Masters is already his best result. But he wants more. He told me at the start of the day, today is my day. Please welcome CJ Enter's Bbyong. Now, his opponent is a man who has already had plenty of success in the world of StarCraft 2, 2 GSL titles and a Kesper Championship as well, but he wants that international one. He first started coming out to Intel Extreme Masters in Season 8, and in New York he finished a disappointing and distant 9th to 12th. In his next Intel Extreme Masters, he made 5th to 8th, and in the third one, he finished 2nd. So by that right, he's the winner. All we know is he's KT Roaster Zest. Okay, time for our final check-in with our analysis desk, because they're going to tell you exactly who's going to win this one. Or maybe, just maybe, Rotterdam gets one right.
Hey. You what?
Wow.
You what,
mate?
Paul?
You what, mate?
Actually, guys, I'm just going to open up for Froden over here. Welcome everybody over here to the analysis desk. Actually, Paul, we've been keeping scores over here, and then wouldn't you be so kind to tell all the people in this building and all the people online who is leading so far in our little tournament?
It's Snoot.
Oh. What?
Just kidding, Rotterdam, it's you.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Actually, Kev, you're ahead of Snoot by 1, so if Snoot catches up and say you disagree on this...
Snoot tied with me?
Winning is winning, then.
Jeff,
Are you in the game?
You're hanging in there. You're in 3rd place. So you get the bronze medal.
I thought we were tied.
Actually, speaking of 3rd place, the last time that these guys met, actually 2 times ago that they met a little bit like through Pro League and through other rounds, but the last time they most notably met was in 3rd place match for the StarCraft SanDisk Invitational that Toll Biscuit was running back in the day, where Zest was able to defeat Bbyong 4-1. And that was a run where you were even mentioning in the past that Bbyong was making the first fans, amongst the foreign audience, and now he has an opportunity once again to, well, is he going to fall to that 3rd place spot, or is he going to be able to go to the grand finals and face off against Trap and deny us from the PvP grand finals? We're about to find out. Let's start off the discussion here. Who do you want to talk about first, Stu?
I think we can start with Bbyong. He seemed to be very adept at preparing for Hero. But the question is, how well does he know Zest? I don't think they played as many games as Hero and Bbyong maybe have played with each other, so the mind game thing doesn't really apply in the same way. So I'm not exactly sure how this one is going to play out. We saw Zest prepare very well for innovation. Yes, the execution wasn't always there. So I feel like we have 2 players that are really good at preparing for stylistic choices of their opponents, but I'm not sure how this is going to play out.
I feel like Zest looked really shaky in his series. He's kind of gotten by 3-2, 3-2, and even the Hydra series, shaky would be one of the ways we describe that as well. Certainly he could shake and bake his way past this one as well. I think that's a possibility, but I am lending my favor towards Bbyong, I think. I really feel like he was the one that showed really crisp, well-executed play, and more importantly for me, really high-octane aggressive play, which I think is going to be kind of the deciding factor for me. I was not super impressed with Zest's defense, although from his games we did learn that 5 photon cannons is the proper number of defense on your natural. If you put 5 there, it's really hard to drop there. It's not 3. We tried that out earlier in the tournament. But I like Bbyong to win this. I think he looked really, really good.
Yeah, he did, especially against his teammate Hero, who did end up winning the previous PVT that he won in the round of 16. What do you think, Rotterdam? Looking at Bbyong's play earlier today, do you feel like he's got it against Zest, who did take out Innovation?
I think everything that both the guys here said is correct. I think Bbyong had an amazing read on Hero. He had a soul read. It was almost a calculated blind counter, or it was just really awesome, like educated. That was the right term. Damn it, I messed it up.
You're done
Anyways,
invested.
I'm done and dusted. All jokes aside, he played so well. I just felt like he was on top of it every single game, and that was awesome. But I don't think he knows Zest as well, and I also don't think that Zest is going to be as predictable as Hero was in a way. And I felt like, we can say what we want about Zest. Like, yeah, it was a 3-2 victory, but it was a 3-2 victory over Innovation. Like, we all thought he was going to win this tournament, or at least so many thought, and especially Game 5 Expedition loss, that must give Zest so much confidence going into this series. So, I was worried in the first series against Hydra, I was worried against Innovation, but now I'm starting to believe. I think Bbyong has been phenomenal so far. I think it's going to be a really close series, but I'm the opposite of Jeff. I'm more leaning towards Zest right now.
I agree with Kevin,
hold on
but
to
it
the
wasn't
official prediction.
It wasn't Innovation that he beat. It was like Innovation Light or Innovation.
No, then you're taking it away.
It was Innovation before his final form. Like
No, Innovation.
No,
I would say
poorly.
Innovation was at his peak right now. If you check the match history, Innovation has been dominating.
Has been. That's what I'm saying. I don't disagree with you. That series, that was not very good play from Innovation.
Yeah, but it goes two sides. Like, it's always like one player. Like, if you would go up against Innovation right now, you would
He would
probably
kill me.
Yeah, but you would probably also feel like, man, I know I lost, but I could have played a lot better. But that's also because you're playing against someone who's as good as Innovation. So, it always goes two ways. Like, it wasn't flawless by Innovation, but you really got to give credit where credit is due, and it was due to Zest, I think.
And we also said a lot of the time that Zest was looking very shaky. He still beat Innovation. So that's really impressive. Who can be shaky and still beat Innovation,
Oh, you guys, I love this. Earlier, we're like getting really down. We're like, Patience played really poorly. This is really bad. Everyone seems to agree on that. But when Innovation plays, it's like, whoa, no, not Innovation. Let's remember, Zest plays good too,
Well, he did end up winning, and that's in the end what counts here is he did get the 3-2 score. We have the map vetoes also in here, so that can fuel the discussion. Maybe that twists a little bit the predictions of how they go. Secret Spring and Expedition Lost have been taken away, and as a result, we have Deadwing, Inferno Pools, Vonnie Research Station, Catalina, and Overgrowth as the rotation.
And despite the fact that we've seen so many PVTs, this is a pretty unique order. We're going to kick things off on Deadwing, a map that's very frequently vetoed. And then the second map is going to be Inferno Pools, a map that's also been vetoed very often in this tournament. So that's already very refreshing to see, I'd say.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, most Protoss players that had the first map choice always went for Overgrowth, right? Or almost always.
Because Deadwing was usually taken out. So I guess in this chance, he was like, oh, okay, well, let's go there first. For
this is a very interesting pool. Deadwing, Inferno Pools, two very big maps to start things off. And then just smaller and smaller maps.
Just not close spawn on Inferno, please. I am so tired of that. It feels like the Protoss are
those games were amazing.
I mean, they ended up pretty cool, but they feel like they have to do that. They do it every time. They're like, well, okay, we're in these positions.
There's also something else worth noting that Bbyong is the only player remaining that has actually played Snoot on his road to IEM. So there's another elimination here.
We got a curse. We got a curse.
Yeah, that's right. So if Bbyong drops out here, that means Trap versus Zest, a PvP finals. Neither of them have played against Snoot. So keep that in mind as you're about to go through predictions.
Yeah, not sure.
I'll give you a couple of seconds to bathe it in. Overall, 7-5 map record goes in Zest's favor, but it's pretty even. And of course, who is on fire, truly on fire, after starting off today with a series win in the round of 8? It's time for predictions, guys. Before we give it over to our commentators, Rotterdam, you'll end our day the way we began it. You started first.
One hell of a run so far for Bbyong, but I'm really going to go with Zest. I believe that he has it, and I think he is going to do it. Close series, though, 3-2 maybe, but I think it is going to be Zest.
Okay, so
and also, like, it's just often written in the stars that these major tournaments have PvP finals. Like, I don't know how this happens, but
something else worth noting is that Aliglock not only predicted Trap to win,
no,
But he also predicted that there would be a PvP finals between him and Hero.
Okay.
So maybe it could be somewhat right. It also predicted, Hydra to advance and Life to be winning over Innovation. But in the end, it was a PvP final. So maybe that part of the prediction comes true. In Control, what do you think?
Not today, Frodan, Rotterdam. I think it's a Bbyong 3-0 win, pretty handily.
3-0 Young.
Yeah. He's got that hard B in his name, and I'm feeling it.
I think some people in the audience agree with you, too. There's some light applause for that.
The Polish and I get along very well. We do. We think alike. Yeah, see?
Most of these guys were probably here last year, and they're like, not another PvP finals. It's like,
I think... I mean, I don't want to build up too much, because then if it happens, we have to be like, wow, this is so exciting. A PvP final. It's going to be good either way, but joking aside, I do think Bbyong is the... Zest is creeped his way up there.
I'm pretty sure that sign is correct, by the way. After the StarCraft 2 finals, League of Legends will be happening.
It is right, yeah. It's right next to it.
Yeah. Stu, what do you think is the last prediction here before we fill out the table?
I think the semifinals is a time to be nervous, a time to be shaky. I think Zest looked a little bit more shaky than Bbyong. I think they're very evenly matched in terms of history. Even if Zest has a small lead, I'm going to go with Bbyong here.
Ooh, okay, all right. So Bbyong, 2 for Bbyong, 1 for Zest. And thus sets the stage for our final Protoss vs. Terran for the day. And the final match before we go to the grand finals of day 4. Who is going to take it? We'll find out as we give it to our commentators of Todd and Maynard.
Todd and Maynard.
He's good at those, isn't he? He's very good at those handoffs.
He is fantastic. I can see why we hired him. I can see why he gets the big bucks. Katowice, are you still with me? Dziękuję bardzo. Very nice. Guys, we've got 3 players remaining, and only one of them can be the grand finalist here. We got these 2 players, the big heavy hitters, Bbyong and Zest. This is an important match, guys. This is to decide who is going to the grand final. This isn't the round of 16. This isn't the round of 8. This is it. Who goes through to face with Trap on that stage in front of 10,000 live spectators? Ooh. I'm getting chills. I'm getting wiggly and jibbly up in my chair.
It is a very important match for both of these players. The most important match they've played in a long time, and for Bbyong, the most important match he has ever played in StarCraft. This is a very, very big moment. This is the World Championship of the Inter-Extreme Masters, Maynard.
Very accurately put, Apollo. It is indeed big bucks and big WCS points all aflutter. And let's get into it without further ado. On Deadwing for game number 1 in the top left here from KT Rolster, this is Zest. And in the bottom right, from CJ Entis, this is Bbyong.
And just after 3 days of StarCraft action, there are only 3 players that remain here. We've got 1 finalist in Trap. Who will join him? Within the next hour or so, we will have a second grand finalist that will play in that Spodek arena. I'm very excited to see that happen, but which player will it be? They've both had a good road to the semifinals so far. Bbyong has gone through Solar, our Shenzhen finalist from earlier on last year, and then he went up against our 3 times Inter-Extreme Masters champion Hero and dispatched of him easily, 3 games to 1. He lands himself here in the semifinals against Zest, who went through Root Gaming's Hydra, and then Innovation. Up there is, with Maru, the best Terran in the world. And he went through him 3 games to do and has found himself here against Bbyong.
And last round in the round of 8, both these players have dispelled anyone that said that they cannot play PvT or TvP, however you want to look at it. One has beaten Hero. The Terran has beaten Hero, the greatest Protoss. And Zest showing that his 2014 form, he's just going to break off the rust, and he's got a big shiny suit of armor underneath.
You're so correct in that. Zest was the best Protoss in 2014, and I don't care who tells me that he wasn't, because he was. 2015, he struggled. Star League and GSL, he was not present. Unfortunately, he failed to qualify, but he's shaken off that rust now, and he is ready to go back to where he was in 2014, and hopefully he carries it through to the finals. But the 2 builds are shaping up. We got Command Center first from Bbyong, followed by a couple of barracks. We've seen this a lot from him already this weekend. Whereas we've got the Gateway expansion coming out from Zest, followed by that pretty nifty second gas. So 2 pretty much macro-oriented builds, and on a map this size, that's what I'd be expecting to see, and that probably to echo through with the strategies that they'll choose coming into the mid-game as well.
That's right, and as you go into the mid-game, you do see that with this gasless expansion from Bbyong, he goes up to that 3 barracks, you get a lot of Marines out, you're pretty safe against Oracles,
Right.
You're pretty safe against Blink, and if you feel like you want to do it, you can move across with a whole bunch of Marines and try and get a cancel on the 3rd Nexus if the Protoss is being greedy.
Yep.
Or try and pressure the natural a little bit as well.
And all little bits of information that you gather at this stage of the game is very important to make the decisions based upon. I mean, look at this right now. We have an SCV hidden inside the main base of Zest, which hasn't been spotted and won't be spotted. It's hidden away. He's going to go in a couple of seconds' time to get the clarification on what tech choice it is. And it's the Twilight Council. We saw this earlier on today from Zest, and it was for Dark Templars against Innovation, and we saw the damage that it did.
Yes, now Innovation didn't have what it took to try and recover from that damage. Bbyong very likely will have to deal with Dark Templars here. Can he do what Innovation could not?
Well, Zest knows he's playing against a command center first here, so he's going to see if he can do a little bit of pressure, but there are 5 Marines inside the 3rd base that push that back. But here comes the SCV scout. What does he see?
Oh,
he's going to get everything.
Yeah, he's going to see everything. He clicks down here, sees Blink. Now,
Yeah.
is this just straight Blink, or is it Dink? Is it Blink with like a peppering of Dark Templar, which you've seen Hero do in the past, in this tournament, in fact?
Is it Blink to protect his economy against aggression? Is it Blink to go aggressive? Because right now, there is a probe out on the map. It's on the Zelnaga town. We could see a pylon built if we see the gateways go up. The Mothership's core coming in, knowing that all the Marines at the front door, and he does get an SCV kill, which is a great
very
start.
nice, actually, yeah. Free damage and then can easily recall out if he needs. 5 gateways going down back at home for Zest.
Whoa.
This is going to be a big attack here. Another gateway, 7 in total, 7-gate blink.
7
players
gate
weep.
blink. A massive attack.
Oh boy. So this is going to be a very, very huge.
And right now, Bbyong saw the Twilight Council. He knows it's Blink, but to what extent he doesn't know. Is it just a light tickle? Is it going to be a big attack? There's no follow-up scout. He's sending an SCV from his 2nd base down to the 3rd. He's looking to see what he can find. What does he find?
He sees 2 Stalkers.
And why are 2 Stalkers still out here? If this was defensive Blink, I think they'd be on the other side of the map. If it's defensive. So another bunker's being made. He knows. He's trying to figure this out, and he is starting to do so.
Bbyong's so smart, he realizes exactly what he needs to do to try and hold this. Getting a bunker in the main, we'll have to get one in the natural as well.
But look how exposed the barracks with a tech lab that is researching Stim is. A Blink up here, and if that goes down, he's going to be in trouble. He now sees the warping units, he can hear it, he can see it. Can he defend it?
It's a really good point about that tech lab. Losing Stim would almost be a death knell for Bbyong. He needs Stim to be able to hold these Stalkers
and
to be able to get from one base to the other.
Away. 50 seconds away.
It's quite a while away. Here we go. Getting through those rocks. The rocks are down, but it may not be the rocks that he chooses to go through. He's going to go for a poke. The time warp is down. SCVs are pulled, and a couple of Marines coming out of the bunker at the front as well. These Stalkers actually not micro to the best. A couple of them are going down.
Oh, I think he lost a little bit more than Zest hoped for there. He lost about 3 Stalkers, but he's still got a lot of firepower here. There's only a single Marine in. Stim is almost complete.
Parry on the bunker. He's only on SCV anyway. Stim is just about to finish. He targets down the tech lab, but Stim finished. And in he goes. Just a split second there.
And is he going to lose the Mothership core?
Oh, he does. See you later, Mothership core. And there's the high ground vision for Zest. He has to go through the ground.
It's still not over yet, though. There's still a lot of units here. Stim is there, but there's bunkers. If he starts repairing these bunkers.
He's got the repair on them, but there's too much DPS on the Stalkers. The bunker does go down. And these units are getting quite low. He can't stim too much here.
Yeah, and remember, there's no starport, there's no medivacs, it's just pure units. He's taken away high ground vision, so he can only attack up that ramp. But until another bunker is made, Bbyong is not out of it yet. There is a lot of Stalkers, and they've got a lot of damage output still to go.
They do. A few of them are quite hurt, but they are still alive. And as long as they're alive, they can shoot. And they start to blink inoffensively, targeting down the Marauders, taking them out, the big scary unit against these Stalkers, and Zest doing what he can with his blink, and so far, it looks pretty good.
It's pretty good so far, but he's got to warp in another round of units. A bunker will complete, but there is minimal SCVs to help repair, and also to actually mine money here. He's killed 20 off in this attack.
He has indeed. 17 down.
Here we go again. Zest is not finished.
He's completely all in here. All Bbyong needs to do is hold. The Zealots are coming in. The bunker gets targeted down again. The hurt units inside are so low. The Stalkers are actually reasonably high in hit points, but they are starting to dwindle as well. Does Bbyong have enough here? He's targeting them down while they're on blink cooldown. He's switching over the thing. He thinks he can try and get a medevac out here. I don't know about this.
I don't know. Look how low all these units are. There's hardly anything left, and Zest knows it. He pounced forward. He smelled the blood. He's so confident with his moves, and he's going to take map number 1 here. There's just nothing left.
Yeah, everything is one shot from death. This one Marauder can just be targeted down by the Stalkers, and the rest should be cake for Zest as he gets through game number 1. Looking so strong, this Protoss really just proving against the haters that think that he can't get it done, that his 2014 self is all gone. I mean, that was proved last round, and it's just continuing to be proved here as he just continues the damage into Bbyong's main. Bbyong is getting units out. He's trying what he can, but, I mean, that nice Widowmine here, but geez,
this game is too far to recover from. This game is over. Zest is going to open up with map number 1.
GG.
And a great start to the Kingslayer as he tries to make his return to the top of StarCraft 2.
He's well on his way, and he's taking the express path there as well. And this particular tournament is when he's chosen to show the world that he can do this.
And what tournament to choose? The tournament that has up to 70,000 for first place.
And how many WCS points, Apollo?
There is 1,500 WCS points on the line, which is pretty much 50% of what it took to get to the global finals at BlizzCon last year. This is a huge, huge deal.
Now, can Bbyong tie the series? We'll find out shortly after a break, guys. Do not go away. We'll see you soon. Hey guys, welcome back. We are about to get into game number 2 where the 3-time champion of 2014 is currently up 1 map on this guy, Bbyong, whose largest feather in his hat is that he has recently, as of just hours ago, beaten CJ Hero in a 3-1 series. That's just impressive. It really is an impressive feat.
Bbyong has definitely at this tournament reached the peak of results in his StarCraft 2 career. Zest won 3 tournaments in the toughest region, in the toughest leagues last year. When it comes to results head-to-head, Zest is head and shoulders above.
Absolutely. Can Bbyong start that road to try and overtake those results? Be a good time to start. In the top left here of Inferno Pools. Sporting cross positions. This is KT Roll to Zest. And in the bottom right here from CJ Entis. Can he tie this series? This is Bbyong.
One major difference between the two of them that stands out for me at least is the way that they beat their opponents coming to where they are here. Bbyong, as much as he beat CJ Hero and as good as Hero really is, just think of the way that he beat him. It was a lot of mind games, and he really used the friendship and the teammate aspect of the series to his full advantage, which gave him an easier win than usually it would have been if they weren't teammates and weren't friends. Whereas Zest on the other side, he was fighting a rival team and a rival player from Pro League, and he beat him 3-2. For me, that is the more impressive win of both, which pushes us to believe that Zest should be the favorite coming into this one. Bbyong really needs to show us something more than just mind games and playing with your opponent. He needs to outplay Zest. He needs to show everybody that he is the better StarCraft 2 player.
Well, he was very, very close to holding game number 1, but close isn't GG, is it, Apollo?
It's not, Maynard. It is not. You need a lot more than that.
Do indeed. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, playing against Hero, yes, Hero is scary, but he is a teammate that would have practiced together. And it's, ooh, Zest is looking like he wants to put a Stargate down here.
Yeah, he's rushed and actually chosen the strategy, which is very uncommon here. He's rushed this double gas out, he's saving up Chrono Boost, and he's going to throw a pylon out in the middle of the map and is going to put a structure there. Luckily for Bbyong, has decided to scout cross-map, which is directly to his opponent's main base here, despite this being a 4-player spawning map where you can go in any of the corners. He's gone straight to his opponent's, and he's going to go in, and this is huge, because usually on a map this size, you don't really have an SCV come into your base this early. And Bbyong is going to be like, well, wait a minute.
Where's your pylons, buddy?
Where's your pylons, buddy? What have you done? And this is the same build that Zest used earlier against Innovation on Secret Springs, where it looks like he's going to be going for this 3-gate blink, 1 base, all in. On the other side of the map, Bbyong hasn't expanded. Bbyong has got a factory on the way, and he's sitting pretty on 1 base, which is the ideal kind of situation to be able to defend against this type of attack. He's taken a second gas, and he may try to go for some type of counter to this play upon guessing what's going on. Cloak Banshees, if it's Twilight Council, is great. Cloak Banshees is great if it's going to be like an Oracle play. Widowmine drops are great. There's a lot of different ways for him to approach this, but it's Dark Templar, not the blink that we saw earlier from Zest. But there's a wall, there's no warp prism, so it's gonna have to go up this wall.
He has to get in, has to knock the front door.
Well,
Bbyong's feeling like it's Oracle here. So he's dropping a bunker in the middle line, expecting that it's a very, very, very early Oracle, but we know that's not the case.
He is expecting Oracle or Blink. You don't really expect super fast 1-base DTs. This is not something that we very rarely see. It's very easy to stop if you know it's happening. But right now, there's no energy for a scan to stop the Dark Templar. And first of all, another point to make is that Zest doesn't even know where Bbyong is. He's actually scouted to the top right, and for the first time scouting to the bottom left. So the pylon is very far away from Bbyong's base, which means the Dark Templar have a very long way to walk. And are we seeing a Raven? First of all, is this Cloak Banshee or is this Raven?
And the choice is going to be Banshee with Cloak, so that's not so great for Bbyong.
Is he going to save energy to be safe overall? He's actually got an SCV inside his opponent's base. He's having a look around. He doesn't see anything. But is that enough intel to tell him that this could be Dark Templar? Does he mule or does he save up energy? Right now, he's got 50 energy available to use for a scan.
Muling.
And now he's got no detection. No detection.
Well, and the wall isn't even completed. He's only just going to complete
Now it is, but the wall isn't fully completed, that the DT can actually destroy the building supply depot. And there's 3 of them.
Oh,
this is almost an instant loss because there's simply no detection.
And he doesn't even need to cut them down. He's going to walk straight in. And this is pretty much GG at this point. 3 DTs in your main. He just switches over to make a Raven right now. Bbyong is going to try and do what he can. But, oh my god, he is in a horrible position right now. The Tech Lab being targeted down. The SCVs are trying to repair here.
Okay, the Raven is on its way. It's about 35%. Is he going to be able to hold off on time? The Banshee's going to do a lot of damage on the other side of the map, remember, if that Cloak finishes, because there's no detection also on the other side. But it's going to get denied. It's only a few seconds beyond.
Oh, the Cloak is down. It's going to be an unplugged Banshee here. 10 SCVs have gone down to these DTs already. Bbyong really in trouble here. There's a scan.
Yeah, but it gets 1 of 3 DTs.
Yeah,
the Raven's out, but 15 SCVs have been killed.
Pretty critical damage here. Bbyong's seen where the proxies are.
But there's Photon Overcharge, and there's 2 Stalkers inside this main base. This main mineral line is completely protected.
Unless he walks the Stalkers away, but they can come back. Photon Overcharge on its own could do it. It does go down, and the Banshee is deflected, and Bbyong's heart would be sinking at this point. 18 SCVs down. He is 9 SCVs to 21 probes.
Bbyong has been smashed here in these first 2 games. He's about to go down 0-2. He's got a long recovery to make this work. He's got to build up all these SCVs again. The Banshee's been shut down. He's going to try and bring these pylons. Does he have enough at home to actually even stop a simple gateway attack?
I mean, these 2 Zealots and Stalkers look like they're actually going to finish the job. They're just in a beautiful position. He's just holding position here, touching on the factory. Supply depots are going down. And yeah, sure, he's depowered those gateways, but can he deal with the gateway forces that are already in his base?
As long as he doesn't lose units to these mines, he can dance around and start to do a lot of damage. It's 3 Marines and a Raven with no energy. There's an auto turret helping in the mineral line, and he's trying to be able to, well, I think he's going to give the Zealot up here to allow the 2 Stalkers up the ramp.
There's the auto turret. Auto turret's pretty powerful, but
Not that powerful
enough.
And this is spelling to the end for Bbyong here, unfortunately. He's didn't prepare for the one, he prepared for everything else pretty much, apart from the one strategy that was going to cost him the game, and it was Dark Templar.
That's right. 3 Stalkers here, continue their reign of terror. More Marines going down. Nice micro from Zest, keeping the Stalkers alive. And these Marines, that was their job. That was their one job. They got that one Stalker. But guys, I'm sorry to say, but this is just so much damage here from these Stalkers.
Every single SCV that goes down is huge at this point. He does have a tank on the way, and he is holding the lines, but he's quite far behind in this respect. It's 1 base versus 1 base. And there, the Stalker does get picked off. There's 2 more still around. 2 Widowmine's going to protect this. Banshee's still around, so he's not dead yet. Not fully dead yet. 2 extra gateways have been added on. With an Observer making its way to the other side of the map now, we can start to slowly clear these Widowmines, but that tank has pushed that back as well.
So he's going to press the issue with just gateways here. More going down. An expansion.
Yeah. 25 workers for Zest, 12 for Bbyong.
Devastating at this kind of at this time in the game. This kind of opening.
Yeah.
Bbyong well and truly on the ropes.
And the thing is right now, Bbyong is still building units to make sure he doesn't die to a gateway attack. So every bit of resources that is away from the command center, now the Nexus is building, is pushing him further and further behind. The Banshee's now taken out as well, so there's no worry for that. And Zest with the Nexus building can invest more and more into units to delay this expansion from being taken.
Yeah, the pylon kind of was being annoying here. The Marines in the siege tank are going to get rid of it. It's mainly the Stalkers he's worried about here. Smart play from Bbyong to go try and get a Widowmine drop. Anything that he can do to try and hit into Zest's economy and try and even the playing field is going to be his ticket at clawing his way back in this game.
Absolutely, this could work here from Bbyong. He's very far behind and needs something like this to go in his favor to turn this around. The Medivac with a Widowmine, if that was to get into the mineral line to deal damage, there is the Photon Overcharge still available, but the Observer, the second Observer, is on the other side of the map, and there's currently not another one in production. And all Zest's focus right now is stopping his opponent from expanding and slowing him down while this Nexus cranks out those probes.
2 Nexus pumping out probes, but this Widowmine might try and cut into that probe count a little bit here. Doesn't look like Zest has reacted yet at all.
He doesn't even notice.
Only 2 probes going down.
Yeah, that's not too bad, actually. He's a little bit worried that there's a second Widowmine, but only losing 2 probes is okay. He's got an Observer that is going to be built, and still, there is no second command center. Does this feel like Bbyong maybe wanting to just go for one push here? If he goes down a command center...
He keeps making siege tanks, he's keeping making Marines, and I mean, Zest is kind of forcing his hand. He might just have to do it.
But he's got a long way to go. That gives a lot of time for Zest to prepare himself. The Raven is banking up energy, of course.
Oh, here we go. Another Widowmine drop here in the main. A good reaction from Zest. Pulls that last probe, take a shot, takes one for the team.
And now no Widowmines left.
Yeah, and only 2 probes killed with those Widowmines.
Yeah. And now we just see Zest sitting outside. He's got a campfire. He's got his tent out, Maynard. Sure you're well aware of these type of things.
Singing Kumbaya. Yes, when we're out in the bush, we just take it easy. Crack a tinny, throw out the lawn chair, and we're good.
And that's exactly what Zest is doing. He's sitting there, he's chilling. He's got 2 bases to 1. His probe count is huge. And he knows this is 1 base. I guess the one thing he doesn't know for certain is what happens if there's a command center somewhere else on the map, which we may see just like a probe move around just to make sure there isn't a hidden expansion anywhere. But the way this game is played out, he can pretty much put 2 and 2 together to make 4. And then once he's done that, he can realize his opponent should still be on 1 base.
Indeed. Banshee production beginning back at home for Bbyong, just for the extra sort of DPS. This is just, you know...
This is gonna be a 1 base all-in with SCVs pulled with it. There's no other question now in my mind what else it could be. He's gonna push very shortly. There's a robotics play on the way, so if Colossus come out, it's gonna be very difficult to deal with.
And quite a lot of Terran units here, but quite a lot of Protoss units as well. They do cut into the Marine count a little bit. The auto turret's helping out a lot.
And right now, it is Bbyong with the higher army supply, but Zest with almost double the income. He's just got to build a lot of stuff.
He's got quite a lot of production, so he can definitely do that. Maybe not at that pylon. Depends how far he wants to pull back here. Maybe he wants Bbyong to come across the map. Maybe he wants to take the fight here.
Oh, this is really nice. This is really smart from Zest. He knows his opponent's about to push out. So as soon as he does, what do? Drop more units inside his main mineral line to make sure this is a 100% all-in. If he moves out, he loses every single SCV.
Widowmine could potentially help here if Bbyong pulls towards it. But 4 Zealots, still always scary, especially when you're on one base and your army is nowhere near it.
This is one last attempt from Bbyong to salvage this game. Here we go.
There's the boys.
Can he make this work? If not, Zest goes up 2-0.
So Zest is confirmed.
I mean, look at this. Bbyong is
Zest
like, all right,
confirmed.
whatever.
This is a 100% all-in. This is exactly what he wanted. And now it's up to Zest to hold this push. And he's looking like he's got all his cards lined up. Everything looks like he's got every tool he needs to get this job done.
So just look at Zest's army. He has a lot of sentries here. He could buy himself time on that large ramp. Even though it is large, he's going to have to use more force fields than normally. Buy yourself some time, get that Colossus out, get Thermal Lance on the go, and continue to open a couple of sentries for support, and you are going to be dancing. Army, it should be easy to hold off.
Well, I hope he does a backslash dance. That's really BM.
It would be, but, you know, it's the World Championship. Anything matters. Anything like this is fine.
That's right. The lift on the orbital has happened.
Here we go.
A big push here. The Stalkers have seen it. Plenty of sentries here to cover that ramp. It's a very wide ramp, but he has more than enough energy to make this happen. The Banshee's doing some damage from high in the sky. Sentry's being targeted down.
Oh, he's not going to cut off the ramp. He's going to cut off the army instead.
Here we go. The army is cut off. Not enough for Ferry Micro with the medevac. A Colossus is out, which is going to be crucial for the defense here. Instead of Thermal Lance about to finish as well, which is going to make the job easier for Zest. The Nexus is in trouble.
And
but
all the
Zest
probes
is
are
pushing
coming up.
forward. And there goes the probes. The Marines are getting targeted down by the Colossus. The Siege Techs are getting targeted down by the Stalkers. And it's just too much here for Zest by the looks of things. Oh, he's actually taking... no. He's actually taking a lot of damage from these Marines. It's a lot closer than I thought. The medevac helping quite a lot, but then actually the Colossus is going to end this. Zest, GG. 2-0 start for him. Solid start to the series.
Holds on versus that push, and that is it. That is all he had to do. He opened himself up with almost an instant win. A lot of Terran players would have just given up right at the go there, dropping down to so minimal supplies, minimal worker count, and now Bbyong. And remember, this is still a best of 5. Still a best of 5, and now he has to win 3 games in a row against Zest.
A large mountain to climb, and he'll have to take this break to think about it. You guys take a break as well, and we'll see you guys very, very shortly for what may be the last map in this semi-final between Zest and Bbyong. G'day, StarCraft fans. Welcome back to what may be the last game here in this series. A very quick series and a very convincing series so far. This guy currently down 2 maps to KT rolls to Zest. This is Bbyong, of course. Trying to get into that grand final against Trap, and this guy is as well. He's only one map away. Mexican Waves going down in the crowd. Love this crowd.
And they love you, Maynard, and they love you.
And I'm sure they love you just as much, if not more. But we'll just have to compare and measure the crowd reactions very, very soon as we get into Vani Research Station.
It is now or never for Bbyong. There's no more chances. This is it. Vani Research Station must be a victory.
It has to be. No other choice for Bbyong. Zest with room to breathe in this series. Let's have a look here in the Northmost spawn from KT roster. This is Zest. One map from the grand finals. And this guy is going to need all of your support if you want to see a Terran in the grand final. This is CJ at Bbyong.
I've been around in StarCraft for a long time now, Maynard, and I have seen best of fives turn around from 2-0 many a time.
I've seen it happen in this very tournament.
You've got a fresh memory there, my friend. And this is definitely an occasion where we could see that happen. But Bbyong, no doubt, if he wants to see that happen, needs to step it up a different level. He's not playing on the same level as Zest. And if it continues like this, I'm pretty sure the series will end 3-0, but he has to knock it up now.
He does indeed. What is his plan? What has he got in store here for Zest? There is no Reaper expand. It actually looks like CC first here. Vani not too bad for Reapers, but you can CC first as well. You have that choice.
Yeah.
Will Zest punish him for it? He has the option. Zest coming in for a probe scout.
Yes, he is. He's going to see this command center first very early on. Of course, he's going to try to harass this command center being built by the SCV, which would force another SCV down, and can start to already save Chrono Boost, maybe start to build up towards a second assimilator very early on. How does he want to play against this? Vani Research Station with gateway units alone is very difficult to punish, so if he's going to try it, it's either going to be with Blink, maybe a Stargate, or maybe he just plays greedy himself.
All right, so Zest is going to take his own Nexus at the back here. And that's going down. So getting into the mid game here. Nothing crazy from Zest. Very, very standard PvT so far.
All right, so this is, as you said, very standard and a very important moment here for Bbyong, who's already been harassed here by this probe. And the worst part about this here for Bbyong is that he has no idea what's going on behind this. Is this an 11 gate? Is this a Nexus first with this very early probe scout? What exactly is this? And that's a scary thought for any Terran player when they try to go command center first, because there are so many different types of Protoss strategies that can outright kill you. For example, look at the placement of the second barracks, already creating a wall off with the 2 barracks and supply depot, just to make sure that he's not getting rushed by early gateway units that he isn't going to be prepared for.
And once again, the gasless option here for Bbyong. He really feels comfortable with this. This has happened more often than not in his TvPs, and they've been effective before, but Zest has managed to crack him every single time. Like a hard-boiled egg.
Like a hard-boiled egg. And Zest loves his eggs.
He does. He's built, man. That protein. Kid's huge.
I love you, Maynard.
I love you too, Apollo.
All right, Nexus is going to complete here. Double gases have been taken here by Bbyong. Just double barracks. Looks like he's more interested in trying to rush up towards the factory here, we'll see. But anyway, the robotics facility's thrown down. Pretty standard overall from Zest so far. And I love the fact that he's completely in the dark. Well, Bbyong's in the dark and Zest is completely hidden with what he's choosing to do.
Oh, he's
Bbyong
so
just
afraid.
has no idea. He's getting the engineering bay down. He's getting the tech lab and reactor down so he can start double marine production, also get that stim on the way. And this is a very good position to be in if you're Zest, because you're up 2-0. And already your opponent's afraid of losing because one map and he's out of the tournament. And then he doesn't really know what he's playing against too, which is making him make all these safety precautions that sometimes aren't even necessary.
He's just looking for a scouting SCV here. That Stalker is going to be on patrol. And Bbyong trying to cover every single base here. He's got the wall in. He's got the Engie Bay. He can make a turret. He has enough Marines to deal with, well, he almost has enough Marines to deal with an Oracle comfortably. He just really doesn't know just yet.
No, he doesn't. And Zest is kind of just steamrolling forward at this moment. He's finished up with his robotics facility. He's going to throw down the robotics bay at quite a fast time here. The last time he did play on this map was against Innovation in the previous round, and he did try the Colossus drop, which was very successful. It had a lot of damage dealt, and it really just threw Innovation off his game. With the Warp Prism being made first, we could even see this happen.
Yeah, very, very likely. Robotics Bay going halfway through. Colossus drops. They are a thing of beauty. I've seen them before very, very recently. Zest last series. But, is that the plan here? Stim halfway through, +1 on the way, and a quick starport from Bbyong.
I really like how masked Zest play has been. Compared to Hero, who is very predictable for Bbyong, Bbyong just has no reads on his opponent. He's building turrets against oracles he thinks are on its way. He's got absolutely no idea what's coming his way. And we are going to see the Colossus drop once again with this Warp Prism. But there is a turret on that natural which could assist Bbyong. If he catches it with Marines that are going to have Stim too, that's going to be great. And Zest is finding out exactly what's going on. He's actually saying, well, you're playing the same game every time. You go on Command Center first, you're building up your Marine squad, you're playing very defensive to protect this economy that you started to build up. And that is very predictable. It's funny because Bbyong has become that player that Hero was in the previous round.
That's right, and Zest, once again, doing exactly what he did against Innovation on this map, except the slight difference is he's not getting gravitic warp drives. He's actually just getting straight away extended thermal lance for the Colossus.
So at this moment, Stim is complete and the first couple of medevacs are on their way out. If this is timed very nicely here from Zest, I think going in very early is dangerous. The Stim Marines, if they get that Warp Prism down, you're going to lose the Colossus, it's very expensive. But in the next minute or so, Terran moves out at the standard time that they usually do. Is Zest going to go in early to try to deal damage? If he gets it done early, that's great for him. But look at
my God, he's completely emptied his base.
It's perfectly timed. I mean, I think it's really fortunate here, but perfect.
Did Bbyong even watch Zest versus Innovation? He has to pull back here with his two medevacs and full of Marines.
If this Warp Prism goes down...
Yeah, you're very, very right. He does pick up and leaves. Who needs gravitic warp drives? Warp Prisms are fast enough on their own.
And there's a few Marines on the other side of the map who will do absolutely nothing to this. And the gateway count has really risen, quite rapidly actually. So Zest behind this is looking to follow up with another attack. He's got a lot of gateway units, or more gateways being added on for these gateway units. And it looks like with the pylons crawling down the left-hand side, the way that Zest, Bbyong, don't give away free units here. The way that Zest is planning to go to the grand final is with a Colossus attack from 2 bases.
And it could very well work at this rate. Bbyong needs to do a little bit more damage here, and by a little bit I actually mean a lot more damage here. He needs to get into this probe line and kill a whole ton of probes. And he does begin. There's one pylon kind of blocking him a little bit, but he does get in there. And he's actually going to get quite a few.
This is
11,
one way.
12.
This is definitely one way to deal with this.
But the thing is, he still has to deal with the fact that there's going to be Colossus knocking on the front door with a bunch of sentries very shortly. He is going to get the Nexus. He's targeting it down. And boom, goes the Nexus. See you later. Nice start there from Bbyong with the probes as well.
And just like that, Bbyong's back in the game. But he has to stop these 2 Colossus.
A very, very tall order. It's got nothing in the sky. Just making Vikings right now.
The Marines from the attack are on their way back to help defend.
They are. Will they get there in time? One Colossus getting a little bit low. These Marauders actually do target it down. One Colossus is down. That's half the scary firepower here from Zest. Lots of the Stalkers joining in with the sentries. He's got a lot of energy on these sentries. He can really control Bbyong's defense. One force field goes down. He swings around. He really wants that Colossus. The pickup on the Warp Prism to keep it alive. The force fields keeping the bio at bay. Great micro from Zest. Great force fields. The Marines are coming back with the medevacs, but I don't think there's enough units coming down here. The Zest Colossus is still alive.
And now
another Colossus coming through. Is Zest going to be a grand finalist? He is just pushing, and he can smell this grand final. He can smell that final fight against Trap in Sputnik Arena. Zest's moment is now as he pushes through the main of Bbyong and leaves it in flames.
Yeah, absolutely. But that Colossus is going to go down here. He's got to be very careful. There's no pylon close. There's no warp pins. He's trying to build a pylon in the center of the map here. And is keen. And as much as Zest wants to go to that grand finals, his overcommitment and over-pushing through the middle here has awarded Bbyong the chance to fight this back.
He has a chance indeed. Bbyong won't go down. He's going to keep pushing, kicking and screaming if he has to. These medevacs dying is not going to help him. One of the Vikings goes down. The Marauders are so powerful because the Stalkers is going to push it back. He's deflected Zest completely. Somehow, someway, Bbyong has pulled a miracle defense.
And remember, we're killing off the Nexus on the other side of the map. Zest does not have a lot of money. We see Bbyong mining more, even though all those SCVs went down. Zest wanted the kill, he needed the kill there, and he hasn't gotten it.
Mothership core very damaged, can't really help too much. She has gone down. Stim Marines and Marauders going to clean this up, GG. It's not over here. It's not over yet. Bbyong is going to continue fighting in this series. Will he get the next map and tie it up? And then will he get the map after that? Only time will tell. None of us know here. This is a series now, Apollo.
That was exactly what Bbyong needed, obviously, with a map win here, as he gets, finally, a score on the boards, going into map number 4. Bbyong, by killing off that expansion towards the back there, was everything he needed. He got back in the nick of time, but to be honest, it was very over-eager there by Zest, rushing through, throwing the Colossus, not really supporting it very much, and to be honest, like you said, the force field around the structures is good, but then he started to get too keen. He thought that was it. He thought that was the championship. Units coming out from the barracks one by one were surrounding the Protoss army that you have to look after. They're very expensive units and you can't just throw them into the middle of the fight like that. And Bbyong had enough.
Just barely, a hair's breadth. He just had enough to push forward and reverse the flow and then meet Zest in the middle, and the rest is history. Bbyong needs to keep winning here, but we are going to see if he can get it done or if Zest can just continue through with a 3-1. We're going to take a short break, and all your questions will be answered shortly here with Bbyong and Zest, game number 4. Can Bbyong continue the unthinkable here against Zest? Someone who's looked so strong, incredibly one-sided, to be honest, in the first 2 games. Bbyong showing that he's not some chump that's going to go down 3-0 in the semifinals. He deserves to go through here, and he is going to continue in game number 4 and try and switch the momentum in his favor.
If you can make that hold, you can turn this series around. We saw very few people who are able to still hold off against what Zest threw it in there. The drop, the combat, the surround, the lack of reinforcements of Zest. Of course, he fueled the defense with a couple of his own mistakes, but Bbyong still has it in him to challenge, to go to the grand final. He still has it here, Maynard.
And let's see if it can happen here for Bbyong, or if Zest will be your grand finalist in the left spawn here on Catalina. We have got KT Rolster's Zest. And the bottom right with the miracle hold. This is CJ and just Bbyong. Starting to win Katowice over. The crowd loves him.
And he's managed to survive onto the perfect map here that Terrans love to play against Protoss on, Catalina. Let's see if he can really utilize the map and gain these advantages that the map presents to himself here, and hopefully be able to tie this series up. It's going to go one way or the other now. We are going to see maybe Zest go to his 4th StarCraft 2 final, or are we going to see Bbyong have a miracle run, his highlight of his StarCraft 2 career, and go to his very first grand final?
Now, there are a lot of strengths to this map, and one of them for Terran is the Reaper. The Reaper is very, very good for Terran on this map, but Bbyong opting once again for CC first.
And I think this is a very good decision from him here, just because of how popular Reapers can be. Zest in his mind is probably going to be saying to himself, okay, Reaper expansion, very popular. I've been playing very tricky against you. Reaper expand makes the most sense here, because do you really want to play in the dark like you've been doing for the majority of it when I've been throwing every different type of strategy at you? Most Terran players say, no, actually, I want to know what you're going to do. In this case, no. Bbyong is going to go back to his command center first, and he's going to play in the dark. Apart from this SCV that's on its way out, this SCV, crucial, like it was on Deadwing, to find the Twilight Council, to see what's up. Can he get crucial information from Zest?
It's his only source of information. This SCV needs to get the job done. He's going to come in here, and it all looks pretty standard in Zest Town. He's not going to get too much information, nothing critical for him to react to.
Is he able to hide the SCV? Does he want to poke in, then poke back out again, and kind of hide the SCV somewhere else, and then try to poke in again around the 6 minute or so to see that tech choice? He goes, sees no second guess, retreats, going to keep the SCV alive, knowing that the mothership's on the way, and then hopefully and usually you see Terran players just go and hide this SCV and then come back at a different time.
Mothership Core about to come out for that all-important defense. And Zest spreading his pylons around the main here.
Yeah.
He has the anti-Reaver pylon on the lip there, but of course we know, with our God vision, no Reapers to be seen.
A Marine's poked out just at the right time, and he's gonna... No, he's not gonna push this back, and that's a good scout. The probe's gonna go ahead and see the command center and see the 3 barracks play as well.
Pretty aware of what is happening here.
It's a very good scout.
Exactly what happened to him on Varney Research Station.
But notice the SCV has traveled all the way back, so he doesn't want to keep it out there losing mining time that he could be bringing in the minerals. He's taking it back and is sacrificing that. Maybe that SCV goes in there to see what's going on. So he's in the dark completely. No way to scout. The only way now is through that command center scanning. But does he want to risk it? You sometimes don't even see anything, and it's a waste of money. And if he doesn't scan, he has to be prepared for everything.
Does indeed. The 3 racks play going down for Bbyong. The Mothership Core floating on in to the natural. Frozen
in time.
I hope that this event is frozen in time. I would like this event to go forever.
I don't know why Bbyong's saying sorry. I don't think it's his fault. So.
Oh, such a humble boy. Such a lovable scamp.
And Zest is laughing as well. Okay. Let's see.
Good luck or good game or good luck. He's not too sure.
All right, let's continue on with this one then.
Here we go. Game 4 resumes. Mothership Core floating on in. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about Game 4 resuming as well.
All right, so Mothership Core just kind of does a little bit of harassment damage. A little bit to the SCV line, a little bit to the Marines here, but it is the Twilight Council that is backing this up. Are we going to see a big commitment again? We saw it earlier from Zest.
This one Stalker doesn't really want to tussle these Marines. Nice little micro moves from Bbyong, moving the hurt Marines to the back of the pack.
But there's a lot of information here that Zest is gathering while doing small amounts of chip damage to these Marines. There's no bunker.
Yeah.
Does he think that there's not going to be a bunker at all? Does he want to try to challenge the 3 barracks production that he's already scouted earlier on?
Well, 3 barracks production is normally more than enough to hold Blink if you're good enough, which Bbyong certainly is. There's no question about that. But he is, once again, trying to cover all these bases, getting that engineering bay, just in case he needs a turret.
Yep.
Robotics facility going back home for Zest, and with the Blink follow-up.
It looks like the Blink is just going to be for defensive purposes. We've already highlighted that this map is pretty good for Terran versus Protoss. The Medivacs are going to boost their way to the other side of the map really, really fast. And as a Protoss player, the #1 way you defend things usually is with force fields on the ramp, which is going to be on the second base. But what happens if all of a sudden a bunch of Medivacs boost inside the main? And Blink is going to be able to help out so much with that. The ability onto the Stalkers to jump around a little bit. He can get underneath the Medivacs. He's got pretty good pylons around his main base. Luckily, actually, here for Bbyong, he's managed to escape with an SCV here.
He has. That was that Stalker's one job.
Yeah,
was
the
to
one
stop
job.
this SCV from escaping, but
You are very, very right with that. And this SCV is pretty big because, as mentioned before, Bbyong's weakness in this game is he's got no info. He's got no idea what's going on. Is it a fast third Nexus?
he has the scan, he has the scout button, but
He's
opting
gonna-
for the SCV run. The Master Core is going to tap it down eventually, but it does see the Nexus and the gases.
He sees
oh
double
my
forge.
God.
That's a brilliant scout
Is
from an
this the-
SCV that wasn't meant to escape.
The little SCV that could, for the little Terran that could.
And now the green light is out there for Bbyong. He knows his opponent's playing defensive, double forge. With this type of play, it's so expensive to go for 2 upgrades at once to really limit the amount of unit production you can go for, especially because you've got the Twilight Council and Blink early on. You're trying to go for Colossus too. At this moment, Zest is at his weakest. Protoss is at its weakest. He's got to defend multiple locations from Bbyong's aggression, which is really going to start to come out to play when these medivacs are ready.
And this is a very scary Bioforce here.
Does he have? He doesn't even have any sentries? He doesn't even have any sentries yet.
There's no force fields available. He has to rely purely on Blink Micro. And this Bio can just keep pushing and pushing.
Oh, he can stim up here, and there's 3 movers.
Oh my God, Stim Pack is done. Combat Shield is going to be done in seconds as well. He might just wait for it.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
he will.
going to have a quick look to see if this third is there or not. And that Colossus is very important to be on its way out. Stim is done. He can actually charge at this.
He's just waiting for that right moment. Stimming up a ramp, normally a horrible thing, but he's going to know very shortly that there is no sentries. Photon overcharge is down, and this Bio from Bbyong is pressing the issue.
Oh, that is a great time warp, and the Colossus is about to pop as well. But he may target it down.
He's swinging around, and all sights are on that Colossus. Will it be enough firepower? No, looks like the Colossus will live.
And Maynard, that was expensive. And there was a decision there for Bbyong. Do I go for it or do I not? And looking at his infrastructure, he went for a pretty fast third command center here, and it was actually before the 4th and 5th barracks, which really limits the amount of units that he has out. And after losing all that, the supply difference is going to be in favor of army supply, or at least very equal, even though Zest is meant to be trailing behind in this department because of the way that he's opened.
Look at this pylon spread from Zest. He's everywhere with these pylons.
Yeah, he's everywhere. And Bbyong has really lost his sting in this game because of the units that he's lost. There's counterattacks going to be available for Zest as he's got all these pylons around the map. And remember, when you're playing against Double Forge, this guy has 2 upgrades completing, and he's going to go for 2-2 soon. And if he gets towards 2-2, Terran is so very far behind in upgrades that every fight he's going to take, he's going to be at a disadvantage at. And the biggest weakness of Zest is that he's invested so much in his infrastructure that he doesn't have a lot of units. So you try to punish him by dropping him, by wearing him down, but there's none of that anymore because he's lost those units. This is a wonderful setup for Zest in the mid game.
It is. And Bbyong is trying to get into that mid game as well, but he's just behind by a few beats here. Getting that +2 attack with +1 still not done for his armor.
By the way, notice there's no 3rd Nexus yet, which is very, very late considering the circumstances. Usually after you see those units picked off, you'd almost expand almost straight away here. So very safe play from Zest, but that has allowed him to build quite an army size.
It's like Bbyong has identified a pylon here with a scouting marine. Gonna take one down, but there are so many more proxy pylons on the map than that, Bbyong. Sorry to say, friend.
Actually, just looking through Zest's vision and wondering why his 3rd Nexus is a little bit late, I don't think he really knew exactly what he was playing against. As you can see, he's got no information inside the main base, so he doesn't know if it was the 3rd command center before the barracks or the barracks before the command center, doesn't know exactly how many units are going to go, and especially because his strategy at Double Forge was scouted, you'd expect Bbyong to be piling and piling and piling on the pressure. So I really think that Zest has slowed himself down and slowed his economy down when he didn't need to because of that lack of information.
Now, the 2-2 of Bbyong, actually the attack upgrade is going to be finishing very, very similarly here, but obviously armor is going to help Zest out a fair bit. If Zest decides to go for an engagement at all, he's just sitting back on his 3 Nexus for now.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to attack anytime soon. He's playing for the long game with these Double Forge.
Yeah.
He's getting the Zealot charge in. He's got 2 choices here. He can try to rush towards 3-3 straight away and maybe play with Archons. Or as soon as he takes the assimilators on that 3rd base, he might try to push himself towards Storm instead, which has already been anticipated by Bbyong with the Ghost Academy being added on.
Yeah. Mid to late game TvP.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like.
But at this moment, Bbyong's got a lot of units. He's up to 99 army supply to 75, so a good chunky 30 supply more than his opponent. But we are seeing those 2-2 upgrades complete for Zest. And there's only, very surprisingly, only 4 Vikings against 5 Colossus. That is not enough.
He actually has 2 starports, but he just hasn't started, or he is just now kicking into Viking production 4 at a time, the maximum number he can do back at home. And he does have, at least what he has going for him is he's gotten the mech upgrade. The Vikings do have that +1 attack, which is going to help out a little bit. And Ghosts, of course, always handy against the Protoss.
Yeah, Ghosts have been added on. And instead of the Templar Archive, Zest has chosen the Dark Shrine here. Dark Shrine, great for harassment, great for running Dark Templar around. Maybe he can use him in Desperation into his army as well. But he's not getting Archons, and he's not getting Storm, which means the Vikings, if they become a large enough number, this becomes a big problem for Zest. If he loses the Colossus, the Gateway army, as much as it's at 2-2, Bbyong's army's at 2-2 now. And he's actually working on +3 attack before his opponent. So the Dark Shrine is a very, in my opinion, questionable decision, especially when he decides to pull the boys like this. There's no Storm, the Colossus are everything. Does he have enough Vikings? The EMPs are going to be crucial. This is all or nothing for Bbyong. It's game 5 or he's going home.
And Zest just now sees the end of the SCV train. Beat of sweat going down his head as he needs to hold a very strong attack here from Bbyong. The boys are stuck in between, but they will start to trickle through. The Vikings are tearing through. Great EMPs from Bbyong all over a lot of the zealots there. The Vikings are taking apart the Colossus numbers. Actually, the great target fire from the Stalkers of Zest, decimating the Viking count, and it does go down. Zest splash damage. The Colossus, you wanted to know, Apollo, will the Colossus win the day? And they are just looking like they're going to hold Bbyong here, and Bbyong down 50 supply.
Bbyong has just thrown his tournament life away here. He just did that attack, he charged up that ramp, time warp, 5 Colossus in a clumped up area, doing so much damage to Bbyong's army, and now DTs are really putting the sting. And Zest is in a position to go to the Spodek Arena, to play in front of this live audience in Poland, to play for the first place prize at World Championship. And his army knows it. He's marching across the map in Maynard, and he is coming for this victory. He wants to go to the Grand Finals.
Production, someone start playing the Imperial March. This is the death march here. The army of Zest is going to come through and punch a hole right through Bbyong's face.
Bbyong knows he's in so much trouble. He's lifted his 3rd command center, and he's probably questioning that decision to attack like he did over and over again. Here comes Zest to go to the finals!
And only 3 Vikings aren't going to cut the mustard at all, Apollo. That's 5 Colossus, even an Archon. Why not? Turn an Archon in there, get some extra splash damage. He doesn't seem to have enough.
Yeah, there is hardly any Vikings here. There is only 3, and this is so very, very bad here for Bbyong. And Zest played this out very smartly, very cautiously, very slow, very defensive, and he just nailed that attack, nailed that defense, but now he's gonna do this attack, and this is almost impossible to hold.
Blink Stalker's just doing chip damage. Zest being very, very, very careful here.
He does not want to lose this. He could attack up there very simply. I think if somebody kicked him out of his booth and got a fan in there to play instead, he'd probably win as well.
Black and box and A left click as well. But he's just taking it easy. He's too good. He doesn't want to throw this away, and he really can't throw it away. The Vikings just dismal in number versus the ground army of Zest. The Zealots pushing forward, and GG! Bbyong gets knocked out by Zest, and Zest will be a 2nd grand finalist to face Trap at Spodek Arena tomorrow in the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice World Championship Grand Final.
Zest has had a very difficult 2015, but he has gone to the Grand Finals of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship with a victory over CJ Bbyong. Zest is back. Zest is best.
Zest is best. Zest is best. Oh boy, this handsome devil. You can't look at him too long because it actually hurts your eyes. It's like staring into the sun. He is so beautiful. He is going to go into that grand final arena. 10,000 plus live spectators in that arena are going to be blessed by Zest as he gets up on that stage to face Trap, and Trap is an incredible Protoss as well. This grand final is going to be electric.
Absolutely. There was 3 players left a few moments ago, but now there's only 2. Zest and Trap are your Intel Extreme Masters World Championship finalists.
And that's it for games today, guys. But let's switch over to the play and listen to our 2nd grand finalists, Zest and Little Susie.
All right, guys, here's our finalist, KT Rolster Zest. Now, I know that Zest was in the arena when Trap had said that he wanted to face a Protoss player in the finals. But historically, guys, when Trap and Zest have played each other, he has the winning record. So I'm wondering, how confident are you in this matchup?
예, 성호랑은 예전부터 좀 많이 했는데 제가 그럴 때마다 좀 많이 이겨가지고 좋은 기억이 많아가지고 예, 저도 내심 성호가 올라오길 바랬는데 예, 잘 된 것 같아요. 네, 이길 수 있을 것 같아요.
All right, he says, yeah, we have quite a history, and I was hoping that Trap would make it to the finals, and I think it's a good thing that he's there because I have a winning record against him, and I feel really confident about this. All right, well, speaking of which then, this is the first mirror matchup of the entire tournament, guys. We have a PvP final, but this guy hasn't been practicing against Protoss at all. What are you gonna do tonight? How are you gonna practice?
어떤 거요? 연습은 제가 워낙 평소에 연습을 많이 하기 때문에 해놓은 게 워낙 많아가지고 여기서는 연습한다기보단 컨디션 관리가 중요한 것 같아가지고 예.
Okay, he says, well, you know what? I've played against a lot of Protoss before, so I have something that's kind of in bed into me right now. So more so than practicing for Protoss, he's just gonna have to make sure that he's in really good condition and tip-top shape for tomorrow so that he would be able to do it. Now, speaking of tomorrow you are going to be standing in front of over 10,000 people on a stage. This is the biggest stage he has ever performed on. How do you feel about that?
제가 프로게이머 생활하면서 그렇게 큰 무대에서 서볼 기회가 많이 없었는데 제가 결승전 가더라도 항상 그런 그냥 원래 하던 장소에서 해가지고 예, 그런 큰 무대에서 해보고 싶었는데 예, 너무 좋고 꼭 우승하고 싶어요. 네.
He's like, you know, I'm used to playing arenas like this. I'm used to playing, and every time I play, it's always the same place. I'm assuming probably Pro League and things like that. And he's like, I've really wanted to play on a stage like that, and I really, really want to win this. All right, well, you know what? Lastly, look at all these people who are still here. The entire arena's closed, but they're here to watch you. Poland has amazing fans. Do you have something you want to say to your Polish fans? Thank you.
Thank you, I love you.
Okay, guys, so tomorrow we have Zest versus Trap, and the guys at the analyst desk will break that down a little bit more for you.